JB Cycles with an update on March the 24th, with a review on my previous cycles and scenarios, and a look at real estate and commodities. So, down here I have the 10-week cycle. You know, we had a low here, a lower low there. We had a low 10-week cycle low here or here, possibly the last one with a higher low. And now, you know, we've been in a 10-week cycle, and it has been stretching, telling us this one is bullish, right translated. So as we move on here, there's less and less time for bears to produce a pullback, and there will be no bearish pullback here. And now the question is, you know, when we have a very strong trend and low volatility, we can have invisible cycle lows. So possibly this was a 10-week cycle low. I don't like it, but that happens, or can happen in this kind of a market. But there's still a possibility we have a late low here early April. But you know, now we have the Easter holiday, and April from seasonality is very bullish. So I don't like this scenario, but it's very possible. I don't like this as a cycle low. I would actually prefer to see a visible cycle low here, but I don't know. It's difficult here to tell. But this 10-week cycle low, I don't think it can produce anything very bearish, and we have to look for a bigger correction at the next 10-week cycle low in May or June. I didn't complete my hourly data in the previous video, so again, you see, that was a bit early for a 10-week cycle low. It is possible this was a fake breakout and we get a 10-week cycle low over here, but it's also possible that this actually was the 10-week cycle low, and we will have a more sideways cycle and a correction in May-June. So this momentum here, it doesn't look bearish. I would not like to short it. I would like to see some stagnation and topping formation. We are not yet midway in this 2-week oscillation, so I would not like to be bearish here. But my wavelet is kind of suggesting more downside for Monday, Tuesday, but then I would look for another swing to the upside, and well, it doesn't look bearish to me. I would like this momentum. I would like to see some topping. We have, let's see, well, I would not comment on this one. I think I would look at my cycles. So this is the ideal 10-week cycle, and we are now currently out of phase with the ideal cycle. So this cycle low was at this mid-cycle low, or this market low. The next market low was also at this mid-cycle low, and the low we just had the previous week was also at this mid-cycle low. So very possible that was the 10-week cycle low. However, I've been saying that at some time the market will come back in phase with this cycle, and it is possible we will have an extended 10-week cycle. We are still topping, and we get this pullback down to around April the 10th. And we have the quarterly cycle, or the more dominant 6-month cycle, suggesting lows around September and March. And we see we can't hardly see any correction here in March or middle of March, and this cycle is now turning bullish. Finally, we have the 17-week cycle, and it was working very nice into early 23. Then something happened. We got kind of out of phase with this cycle. You know, is this the cycle low, or an early one, or was it this, a late one? It's hard to say. We got out of phase, and this was probably, or maybe a cycle low. So this one was shifted a bit early, this one was shifted a bit early, but here, what's going on here? I'm not quite sure. Maybe that one, and here, maybe that one. So the next one possibly around early June, and the cycle is topping right now. But in a very bullish market, the market top will come later than the cycle top. You know, if we go back here, market top was almost at the cycle low. Or we go here, well, there are no real tops or lows at this point. You see this, the cycles disappear. You only get these tiny pullbacks, and you don't know which one is the cycle low. So, although the cycle is topping here, the ideal cycle, you know, market did top at this one, but here the market topped later. So in this bullish trend, I would expect the market to top later than the ideal cycle top. But for a while now, I've been talking about and expecting some kind of a low in March. I've been waiting, and you know, nothing bearish happened. And if we still haven't made the cycle low, it will only be a tiny pullback before we continue the uptrend. The VIX wavelet is not that helpful when we have such low volatility. Right now, the 10-week wavelet suggests actually this was possibly VIX low, a VIX high, and now we are looking for a VIX low in the coming weeks, meaning we are looking for a S&P high in the coming weeks. So I wouldn't trust this indicator when there's so little volatility in the volatility. Finally, we have real estate. So this is Prologis. I'm not that familiar with real estate, so I just picked a big one. Generally, it should follow my 3.5-year cycle. Hardly see a low here or here, but we have into 2009 and the ABC bullish triangle correction with a low in 2012, 2016, 19. Right now we made a late double low, and we should have more upside coming before the cycle top is reached sometime late this year or early 2025. Commodities is a late mover. We are in the 28-year cycle says we are in a war cycle and inflation phase. So I would suppose commodities could be strong ahead if we get wars and disruptions in trade. So we have a low here, a 3.5-year cycle low here, and here, and here, and in 12, and 16, and here. And this is a cycle low, so this should be very bullish for commodities. Finally, I should mention we had another X-flares a couple of days ago. It produced a big solar explosion headed for Earth, and it has already hit us a bit. And the prediction says for Monday the storm will really hit us. However, such strong geomagnetic storms, initially they are bullish for a couple of weeks, and then the bearish phase comes. So first, typically this produces some euphoria, bears getting squeezed, and we get a blow off top, and then we are very overbought, and we roll over and get a decent correction. So this could indicate a top around mid-April and a correction into May sometime. So that one is a bit earlier than what I suggested previously, so I'm not quite sure. Many conflicting signals here, but overall I think nothing bearish will happen here or in May, June. because the bull market should continue at least into around October, November, but most likely next year.